Do you ever just feel stuck in life? Feel like whatever your goals are, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can't seem to quite get there? Well, in today's video, I want to give you the powerful secret to breaking down your limiting beliefs and accomplishing the goals that you've set in your life. Let's go. All right, well, hey, welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm so grateful for your time and your attention. In today's video, it's a mindset-driven video, and as much as you guys want practical, applicable, tell me exactly what to do content, I can tell you that the secret to breaking through business barriers, personal barriers, is not the tactics. It is the mindset. So many of us have limiting beliefs that we are unaware of, that we don't see, that are keeping us exactly where we're at. So in today's video, I want to talk to you about limiting beliefs. I want to talk to you about why you're still exactly where you were last year and the year before that and the year before that. Our minds are geared and wired to keep us safe. Safe to us as humans means similar to what our lives currently look like. We don't like change. And so inside the science community, there's this idea of homeostasis is the word. But it's basically that there is a floor and there is a ceiling to what is familiar, and homeostasis wants to keep us in between the floor and the ceiling. And so here's the truth. Growth and comfort cannot coexist. They cannot coexist. If you want to grow, you have to trade in comfort for growth. That's why most people will never grow. They'll be the same person as a 50-year-old that they were as a 30-year-old. And it's because we are so addicted to comfort that we sacrifice growth for comfort. And now, depending upon who you are, depending upon what your goals are, for many people, that is totally okay. But if you're watching this, my suspicion is that you're trying to grow your business, that you're trying to build a different life than the life that you currently live. We do not become our greatest aspirations. We default to our lowest standards. So if you want to change your standards. So this is something that changed my life the first time that I heard this quote. When I look back at my life over the last 10 years, I realized that the seasons where I stayed stuck the longest were because I was completely content with the standards that I had set. And now as we talk about this is not just financial. This is true of money. This is true of relationships. This is true of your physical health and fitness, of your spiritual life, your habits, your mindset. Whatever your standards are is what you will default to. When I look back over the first 5 to 6 years of my marriage, we always barely made it financially. And the reason was that was my standard. As long as the bills are paid, we're okay. And so we did not have standards for saving money. We did not have standards for investing. We did not have standards for business growth. We had standards of survival. That was our standard. Your standards drive your actions. If your standard is to barely make it, your actions will always align with just barely making it. As soon as you barely make it, you'll go kick your feet up on the couch, you'll chill out, you'll watch Netflix, and for most people, that's probably totally okay. But I had greater aspirations than that. I wanted to invest, I wanted to save money, I wanted to get into real estate, I wanted to grow businesses. I had lots of these aspirations, but I looked and my actions weren't aligning with my aspirations. My actions were aligning with my standards. And so this goes back to what I just said, is that you will always default to your lowest standard. So what does this mean for us? This means that our standards have to get raised, and it cannot be a negotiable. It cannot be something that is a like to, or that would be cool if. It has to become, this business will die if we don't do this. Our relationships will die if we don't do this. My physical fitness will deteriorate if I don't do this. We have to, in our minds, make it a non-negotiable, that there is no negotiating. I love this quote that basically says, we don't negotiate with terrorists. And so inside of your mind, you have a little terrorist that wants to tell you to default back to comfort, default back to previous lower standard. Quit negotiating with yourself. Quit going back and forth inside your own mind of, am I actually going to push to make this a reality or am I not? You have to make up your mind and then basically seal off any inside voices that would challenge you to go back to what's comfortable. Most of my financial standards, my entire adult life, was just to make sure that we had just enough. And as a result of that, we always barely just had enough. Until one day I got sick and tired of that and I decided to raise my standards. My new standard became, I'm going to do whatever it takes so that we can save $1,000 a month. And what this does is it engages your mind to start thinking differently. Again, actions flow out of what you think first. And so if my now standard is that I will do whatever it takes for us to set aside $1,000, well, then I'm going to attack that a couple different ways. I'm going to look at our expenses and I'm going to try to minimize our expenses. I'm going to be aggressive in that. Then I'm going to be aggressive in going and finding the work or bringing value somewhere to where I can make that extra money to get us to that $1,000 month mark, right? That was kind of my first big mental shift that I had, where I broke some limiting beliefs and changed my standards. Here's another quote that I want you to remember. We're going to put this thing up on the screen for you too. So until the pain of staying the same exceeds the pain of changing, you'll never change. So until it is more painful for you to stay the same than it is for you to change, you'll always stay the same. So you have to get uncomfortable with the old lifestyle, the old habits, the old ways of thinking in such a way that it is more painful for you to stay there than it is for you to change. You have to get sick and tired of staying stuck, and then you'll change. Until you absolutely put your flag in the ground and you say, man, I am so over this. I'm tired of this life. I'm tired of us barely being able to make it. I'm tired of these things. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to stop doing this. Then you will actually change. What are limiting beliefs? Limiting beliefs are the lies that you believe to be true. It's that simple. These are lies that you believe about what is and what isn't possible, about what you can and what you cannot do. These are lies about who you are and who you are not. The truth is that you are an architect of your life and you will build whatever you can envision. And so if you can't envision building a successful business, you won't build it. You know, Henry Ford said, whether you believe you can or believe you can't, you're right. And that's one of the quotes that I've lived by, because everything starts within your mind of what you believe is possible. If you don't believe it's possible to get better, to get smarter, to get more strategic, then you won't even work towards it. So the first thing that unlocks your potential and raises your standards is just believing in greater possibilities for yourself, for your family, for your life. I'm gonna give you 3 quick ways to kill your limiting beliefs. So number 1, first way to kill your limiting beliefs is find someone doing what you thought was impossible. So for me personally, I own a woodworking business. We currently do around $60,000 a month in revenue. And I always kind of thought like, well, man, if we could just get to $1 million, that's probably the most that we would be able to do. Well, then I went and I found this company that does exactly what I do. The owner was talking about how they had 100 employees. And I started looking at how many employees I had. I was thinking, okay, if he has 100 employees, how much is he doing in business every year? Well, I realized he was doing like $15 to $20 million in revenue every year. And it blew my mind. And it made me realize that my thinking was so small. And so by finding somebody doing what I thought was impossible, it immediately shattered all of my limiting beliefs around that thing. So here's the second way to kill limiting beliefs. Set a goal to start doing something that you're not currently doing and make it a non-negotiable. When you start knocking down these goals of things that you didn't used to do, that you didn't know that were completely possible, it will inspire this belief in yourself that you can learn and you can do anything. And so set a goal, make it a non-negotiable, and then start knocking down those goals. But you have to make it a non-negotiable. If it's a negotiable at all, you won't do it. Why? Because you're going to default to your lowest standards. You're going to go back to what's comfortable. We are all wired that way, so it cannot be a negotiable. Last one, third and final way to kill your limiting beliefs, get a mentor that has done the same thing. Get a mentor that's further along in their journey than you, that can speak into your life, into your business, into your marriage, into your faith. And if they have broken through glass ceilings, if they have broken through their limiting beliefs, and you know that, they're going to be able to help you identify your limiting beliefs as well. I'm going to wrap this video up, guys. Thank you so much for your time and your attention as always. Make sure that you like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.